Hello investors, you're most welcome back once again to my show. It's been a while, I must admit. I think it is some months since I last spoke to you. And then I went away and life happened as it were. But I'm back on our favorite subject of our favorite topic of investing, passive investing. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to take time to firstly appreciate a number of you who have responded to me, who have asked questions, who have sent compliments for my show, for my talks. I just want to say I really appreciate all the compliments that you have sent. So many of you have done that. Unfortunately, some of you who did that did not indicate your names, much less your addresses. I would appreciate going forward that you indicate to me your name, who you are, so that I can personalize my response to you. That said, I still appreciate the fact that you responded to me with compliments and questions. So I'm going to dedicate my next few videos to answering questions that you, my dear audience, have been posing to me. To begin with though, I will address Mr. Otieno Agiro from Nairobi. Jambo sana, and thanks for your compliments. You basically were complimenting me for the show. I really appreciate that. And by the way, Mr. Otieno Agiro and everyone else, my name, not my names, my name is Joseph Areu. I am an independent financial advisor, if you need some reminder. So thank you very much, Mr. Otieno. Next, we have, I heard from Asha Kijana. She did not, he or she did not indicate where Asha Kijana is writing from or commenting from. I just suspect that it's somewhere in Kenya, just from the name. Asha, thank you very much. Firstly, for your compliments, but also more importantly for your question, which was, where do we get long-term, low-risk investments? So I'm going to dedicate the next 4 videos, this current one being the 5th, to addressing Asha's question. It sounds like a simple question, but actually it's a loaded question that I want to try and answer as comprehensively as I can. It's a loaded and important question. So Asha, in order to get long-term, low-risk investment, the first thing that you obviously need to consider is what I talked about at the very beginning of my shows, namely, what is the purpose? Why are you investing? All right? Are you investing for income? Are you investing for long-term growth? Are you investing for short-term liquidity or something else? Obviously, by the nature of your question, you are investing for the long term. So, but it could be long-term growth, or it could be long-term income. Okay? Now, if it is long-term income, I have had several discussions. I have addressed you, the audience, on matters of investing in bonds in particular. So that is a particularly important long-term investment that you can make for purposes of getting long-term income. right? However, if you want long-term growth, then there is another set of investments that you can consider, and I am going to give you indications of how or where you could get those investments in response to your question. So, focusing on long-term investments for purposes of growth. Growth means you want the value of your investment to increase, to grow as fast as possible over time. You are not particularly keen on income. You probably have sufficient income. Maybe you have a salary or you have another source of income. But this investment is one that you want to grow in value. That is what long-term growth means. So if your objective is long-term growth, then Asha, you would want to firstly, if you remember, look for investments that compound your returns. Compound might sound like a big word. It simply means these are investments that reinvest your returns. If your returns are interest or dividends or whatever, they are reinvested instead of coming directly to your pocket or to your account for consumption. In this case, you want an investment which reinvests those returns. Okay. And that reinvestment, that compounding could come in two ways, Asha. Firstly, it could be automatic reinvesting. Okay? Automatic reinvestment. So if you have, I talked to you about unit trusts or similar investment products or instruments which automatically reinvest or compound your returns. So that could be a way of compounding. The other way of compounding could be through what I would call do-it-yourself. In other words, you have an investment which generates income or returns, but it doesn't automatically reinvest them. Instead, it is you, the investor, who makes sure that you invest that return through some other investment vehicle. But the bottom line there is, if you are looking for a long-term investment for purposes of growth, you want to look for an investment that compounds. Now, don't worry, I'm going to give you some examples. Okay? So, you should consider, in order to get a compounding investment, here are some examples to address your question of where do you get them. Okay? So here are some examples. First, I've already talked about unit trusts several times, or in some parts of the world they call them mutual funds. Okay? Mutual funds or unit trusts is an excellent example of an investment vehicle which automatically compounds your returns. And like I said, I've explained that before, but I will recap. I will explain that again in the next subsequent video, helping you to understand how a unit trust can help you to compound and achieve long-term growth of your investment. A second investment vehicle that I want you to consider is simple. In our region, we all know about SACCOs. Okay? Savings and credit cooperatives, SACCOs. A sister to that would be investment groups, investment clubs. Again, in our region, in sometimes in Kenya, for instance, they're called chamas, basically an investment group. But I will talk more about SACCOs again in a subsequent video. But consider that seriously as an investment vehicle, a long-term investment vehicle that you can take advantage of for purposes of achieving long-term growth. A third investment vehicle is again one that is very familiar to all of us: property, real estate. You know, you can invest in real estate, and if you manage it well, in the long term, it can give you fantastic growth of your capital after a period of time. And so I will talk about that in a subsequent video if you just stay tuned. Yet another potential source of long-term investment would come from what we call Provident Funds. So Provident Funds essentially will give you a lump sum cash flow, a lump sum payment at the end of a period of time or at the end of your employment, for example. So you will find many companies, or some companies, or employers for that matter, do provide investment or long-term investment opportunities, if you like, retirement investment opportunities through, for example, gratuity funds, okay, or staff pension funds. Many governments in our region would have something you call the National Social Security Fund. All those are provident funds which are designed to, after a period of your employment and after a series of consistent investments or outlays from your salary into that fund, they are designed to then provide you with a lump sum of money upon the end of your employment or upon retirement. That's basically what Provident Funds are. Again, another fantastic opportunity or investment vehicle for purposes of long-term growth of your capital. So for now, those are the investment vehicles we are going to consider, and I would like you to stay tuned for my subsequent videos where we shall talk about each of those in a little more detail. And always remember, as I've said before, always remember to subscribe to my video. In addition to that, give me a like if you like what I'm talking about. If you don't, also do let me know. Tell me something that you think I can do better. I would really appreciate. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Thank you.